10 voters are asked to rank 3 brands of shoes, A, B, and C. The 10 voters turn in the following ballot showing their preference order. Write a voter profile for these ballots. Okay, so what we want to do is kind of condense this into 10 separate ballots into the fewest number possible. So look for any sort of, repeats. So notice that here we have C, B, and A. This order, C, B, and A. So here's another one that's also C, B, and A. And we have another that's C, B, and A, and another that's C, B, and A. So notice that we have 4 of them vote C, B, and A. Now let's look for some other pairs or other matching ones. Let's see, so for BCA, another BCA here, I have BCA here, BCA here, and a BCA here. So I also have 4 of them that voted the order B, C, and A. And then lastly, you notice that I have BAC and BAC. So 2 of them voted BAC. So those are the 3 preferences. So if I'm going to put it in our usual table, then I will have, let me go ahead and set it this way here. So I have my, first, second, and third place votes. And then the order, C, B, and A, because they voted C first, B second, A third. 4 people did that. And then also for BCA, that order, we had 4 voters turn in that profile. And then for the last one, BAC, we had 2 voters submit that as their preference. Okay, so really all it is taking all that raw data, the 10 different ballots, and consolidating it into as few as possible. So for question number 14, we're told that a country is made up of 4 regions, A, B, C, and D, and the population for each region is given below. According to the country's constitution, the Congress will have 30 seats divided among the 4 regions, according to the respective populations. So find the standard quota for each region and round these to the nearest hundredth. So later on, we find, we're just finding the standard quota. Later on, we talk about should we round it down, should we round it up, and then making sure that we apportion all 30 of them. But this year, we're just got to find that quota. So the first thing I need to do is find the divisor. So the divisor is going to be the total population divided by the total number of items that I need to apportion. So in this case here, I've got 1710, and then I've got to apportion 30 items. So this turns out to be 57. Okay, so that's going to be my divisor. My divisor is 57. Now to go ahead and find the quota, I'm going to go ahead for each item. I'm going to take the population of the group and then divide it by the divisor. And that should tell me how many I should do for each group. Okay, so for, let me do this over here. So for group A, I have 476 divided by 57. And so that's going to round to 8.35. They want me to round to the nearest hundredth. So for group B, I'm going to take my 519, divide it by 57 again, and this works out to be 9.11. Group C, same thing. Now I've got 430 for that group's population. So I'm going to look at group population divided by my divisor. And put it in my calculator, I will get 7.54. And lastly for D, I take my 285, D's population, 285, and then divide it by 57, and I get 5.00. So these values right here, these are my standard quotas. Okay, and like I said, later on we'll talk about rounding them down and rounding them up. Number 17, use the apportionment of 40 seats in Congress among 4 states. The standard quotas are shown in the following table. Create an extended table by entering the final quotas using the Hamilton method. Okay, so first of all, the standard quotas are given to me. So I don't have to go through that process we just did. These are given to me. The Hamilton method says, round down, and then if you need more, then we'll add them based on who has the largest decimal portion. Okay, so for my lower quotas, so A is going to be 13, B is 9, C is 7, and D is 10. So when I add these up, 13 plus 9 plus 7 plus 10, I end up with 39. So I've only got 39, but I'm supposed to apportion 40 seats. So that means I need to add one more. So I need to add one more. So who should get that one? And again, we're going to go with the one with the largest decimal part. So notice here this has a 00, that's a 54, 0.11, 0.35. C has the largest decimal point with 0.54, so C is going to get the extra seat. So C is going to get 8 seats. Everybody else stays with their lower quotas. And now when I add up 13 plus 9 plus 17, 13 plus 9 plus 8 plus 10, that'll give me a total of 40 seats, which is what I need to apportion, so I get to stop. Okay. So again, briefly, the Hamilton method, first you have to go through, find the divisor, find the standard quotas, but then you round down, and if you have if you're short any seats, then you add them based on the largest decimal point. So in this case here, let's say I was short 2 seats, then I would give one to C, and then the next one would go to A. After that, I would give it to B, and then if necessary, D. Okay. For number 18, an organization helping to provide meals to city shelters for the homeless has a membership of 100 volunteers. They are assigned among the 4 city areas A, B, C, and D in proportion to the number of people fed in the respective areas. The number of people fed at the city shelters in each area are shown in the table below. So they want me to use Jefferson's method to extend the table and apportion the 100 volunteers among the city's areas. So with the Jefferson method, we have to go ahead and find the divisor and the standard quotas. Then we go with the lower quotas. If we fall short, then we're going to have to modify the divisor. So with the Jefferson method, we don't look at rounding and giving out extra ones. We modify the divisor, and we always go with the lower quota. Okay, so first let's see if we even need to modify it. So I go ahead and I take my standard divisor is going to be the total of all these. So I add all these together and I get 8,100, and then I divide it by the 100 items I need to apportion. So right now I have a standard divisor of 81. Okay. Now when I use that to get my standard quotas, so I take for A, I'm going to take my 1760 and divide it by 81, and this will give me 21.73. So my lower quota is going to be 21. I do the same thing for B. So again, I take the 2340, I divide it by my divisor 81, and I come up with 28.89. And so my lower quota is 28. For C, divide the 2420 by my 81, and I get 29.88. So lower quota will be 29. And then lastly, D, I take my 1580, divide it by the 81. I have 19.51, and so the lower quota is 19. Now when I add up these numbers here to see how many items are apportioned, I get 97. Okay, that's not enough. I'm supposed to have 100. So that means, I don't dole them out. I have to go back, find a different divisor and different quotas. Now when you're adjusting and trying to find your modified divisor, it's a little bit of trial and error. So if I have too many, then you're going to go ahead and make the divisor greater. I'm going to make D greater, bigger. If I have too few, like in this case here, I have too few, then I need to go ahead and make the divisor a little bit smaller so I can get more. Okay, so right now my divisor is 81. Like I said, I could try 80. I could try 79. I could try 78. It's a guessing game. I went ahead and I worked it out with 78, and I got too many numbers. I went ahead and I tried it with 80. And that one worked out well. And keep in mind, a lot of times several numbers will work. It's not only like one magic number. So usually there's a number of different options that'll work out well for you. So let me go ahead and now redo these with my modified divisor of 80. So I'm going to go ahead and take each population. So I take my 1760, divide it by my new divisor 80, I get 22. And so my lower quota is 22. For B, I take my 2340 divided by my new divisor 80, and I get 29.25. So lower quota is 29. For C, I ended up with 30.25. So lower quota is going to be 30. And for D, I got 19.75. Lower quota is going to be 19. Now when I sum all of these up, I get 100, which is what I needed to do. Okay, so the my final answers, the seats that I'm going to go ahead and give out are these right here. So A is going to get 22, B is going to get 29, C gets 30, and D gets 19. Okay, so again, to recap the Jefferson method, you go ahead, you find your standard divisor, you find your standard quotas like we did over here. Then you add, and you go with the lower one. You always round down. Then, if this number here, if it happened to be 100, we're done. If it's not 100, then we're going to have to adjust the divisor, either increase it a little bit or lower a little bit. And again, if you are giving away too few items, then you want to go ahead and lower the divisor. Okay, once you've guessed, and again, it is a guess, you guess at a new divisor, you go ahead and you redo your quotas. So again, you take your, your population divided by your modified divider. Again, we go with the lower quotas. If those tally up to be 100, then we're done.